Good afternoon, YouTube. Okay, or anybody out there. Here's the deal. A couple of weeks ago, someone asked me about the John Deere power takeoff shafts. And that they had heard that you just flip a John Deere power takeoff shaft over. And you got 540 on one side and 1,000 on the other. Well, I can explain this really quickly. And I'm going to show you, but I'm not actually going to show you how to do it on this right now because I don't have time. My time is short. But here's the deal. On this power takeoff shaft, this is a 7410, it's the same on the 7810 and even the 8120, which is what I'm working on today. This power takeoff shaft, you can see this little hole here, this is set to 540. Now, if you see here, this thing needs a bath. If you see right here, there is a retaining clip, and all you do is take a pair of pliers and you squeeze that and it comes out, and this shaft will come out. You flip it over. Well, on the inside there's a shifter, or a button as I call it, and when it's at 540 that button is pushed in. Now when I flip this power takeoff shaft, that button actually fits on the inside of this hole, and it will keep it at 1,000. It will shift it into 1,000 RPM. So I'm not going to pull this out. I have replaced this shaft before. I broke it. I don't remember what I was doing, but I bent it. They'll break from the inside out. I think it was breaking on the inside is why I replaced it. That little bastard right there is like 500 bucks. Yeah, 500 bucks. So now we move on to the 8120. Well, you see the 8120 is a shit ton more horsepower. So you can use that power takeoff shaft there, and you know it will run on 540, the 8120. So a lot of people think that a 200 horsepower tractor shouldn't run that way. But this is the 8120's power takeoff shaft right here. I took it out because it's dry right here. So pretty much the same system. It is at 1,000, so that hole where it would be normally it would normally be a 540 power takeoff shaft on this side. There's a hole there. Now I'm pretty sure I can use those same shaft size. I'm not 100% sure because that tractor, actually no you cannot. The 8120 you cannot use the same shaft as what's in the what do you call it, in the 7410 or even 7810. This is the unit for the 8120. This is a protection unit, okay? So if I want to run a 1,000 RPM small shaft or 21 spline versus a large shaft 20 spline, what I do is I stick the 540 in there, which has the hole on the end just like the other one, and you have this collar. Now this collar is actually a safety pin of sorts, or a shear pin of sorts, and you put that thing on there and that engages the ring gear or the driven gear for the 1,000 RPM. It acts as this guy right here. Okay, so it's the same size, it's the same damn thing. So if I want to run 540, then I just take this little shear pin here and I stick it over here like so, and then I take the bolts and I turn them around like so. Yeah, and this is the unit for the 8120. Now I know this is a rather expensive option. It's like a couple $1,000 option for this silly thing. But I don't believe you can put a 540 shaft on that. Oh, let me put this back in a special spot. I do not believe you're allowed to, or they want you to put a 540 shaft on the 8120 straight, just because the tractor has so much torque and horsepower and power that it will literally destroy the piece of equipment that you're hooked to. Now the small 1000 shaft, I don't know that would be too much of an issue. And what I'm doing here is, because that thing was so dry, a friend of mine, Mr. Carl Bryant, he came along and he gave me this very special grease. And no, this is not Never Seas. It's probably better than Never Seas. it's really tacky stuff, but the silver part of it, the silver stuff in it, is not aluminum oxide. It is actually graphite. So I just like to paint this thing up here so that it's all nice and coated when I put it all back together again, and I don't have to worry about rust, corrosion, or even wear, because this grease is just tits. It works great, and I thank Carl every time I use it. So anyway, I'm going to put this back in its perspective spot so that doesn't get dirty and ugly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk out, and I'm going to insert this power takeoff shaft into the 8120's ass end, and I'll show you that button on the inside when I get there. Okay, so here I am back at this tractor. As you can see, it's got a great big asshole in there, but in the back is that button I was talking about, and that is movable when you push in the 540 adapter that goes in there. And this tractor's filthy too. I've got a hot water pressure washer, and I'm going to clean it up. So quit your bitching. I know it's coming. So anyways, hopefully I'm going to set this thing up so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see here. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Anyway, what the hell. Alright. Maybe I can do it this way, huh? Maybe, is that better? Yeah, that ought to work. Okay, so at least you can hear me talking. Alright, so it's really simple because this thing just slides right on in there. And I'm going to kind of work that grease that I put in there. I want to work that in there because it just really, it's really sticky, gooey grease. And I want it in there all the way in, because what happens is you'll wear the splines off on the shaft, and I had to replace the inner workings of this back end of this tractor. I did make a video of it, and you guys have seen it, I'm sure. It's just I don't want to have to do it again, so that's why I'm greasing it. A lot of guys will put these things in here dry because it's just a messy little job, but there it is. And then you just take your wrench here or whatever you're using, and you run it around that ring, and good to go. Okay, so that's nice and tight. Now, because I'm not doing anything that is going to require a lot of horsepower, I'm just running a pump for this sprayer, and I'll show you that in a second. I really don't need to do the adapter or that very expensive piece of equipment I showed you that's in there on the shop floor. All I have to do is put this adapter on here, and that will make it a lot easier to deal with. Yeah, see, just because that thing, I'm missing a bolt. I didn't take good enough care of my bolts in their metric, and I lost two of them, and I can't really use that heavy duty thing until I go and spend probably $50 for two lousy bolts, because I know how John Deere is about their bolts. They kind of make them so that they're just to be used by John Deere. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, well, John Deere sucks. Well, honestly, John Deere doesn't suck at all. John Deere's an awesome company, and they make awesome equipment. And as a matter of fact, I don't know why anybody could even say that John Deere sucks, because they sell more tractors. They control North America. They don't control Europe because of New Holland or Fiat Group, Fiat Agri, but you know, that was Ford's territory years ago. But anyway, there it is. It's in there. Now I'm just going to get that power takeoff shaft. It's over here. And I'm going to put it on. And I'm going to be able to go spray here pretty soon. Oh, come on. Is that it? Nope. One more. Oop, I'm going to lose this thing yet. There it is. So yeah. And that. And it's one of these forward pushers, which I absolutely hate. So anyway, yeah, there it is. As you can see, that this is the 8120, and before I really get into this spraying season, I'm going to pressure wash the ES end of this tractor because it just needs to be clean. I'm just setting up the sprayer now. Dad's been spraying with the smaller sprayer with the 7810, and of course I'm going to be spraying with the Navigator 1100. So I hope that explains some of the power takeoff stuff with John Deere. I know that case is a little different, but anyway, I'm going to say this into the sunlight, but thanks for watching. If you like my videos, please comment, rate, and subscribe. The link to my website is in the description below, unless, of course, I have forgotten to put it there, which I'm sure somebody will so kindly remind me later today, or tomorrow, or whenever it is. So, thanks for watching. Please come again. There's always more to come because it's spray and fertilizer time.